So, welcome to this final event and this roundtable in particular. And I will start by thank you the three colleagues of this roundtable that accept our invitation to be here and share their experience and visions and your thoughts about the topic. And the topic is digital product passport, something that clearly mixes digital with sustainability. And since this DPP will be legislation in the near future, it is important to discuss it and to start thinking about the impacts that this DPP can have on the industry, on the whole ecosystem, on the whole supply chain, especially SMEs. And I will take this moment to ask, how many SMEs do we have here? Okay, I'm expecting questions from you at the end of the roundtable, right? So, with me, I have David Allo, I have Silvia Grau, and I have Pepe Costa. So I will ask you to introduce yourselves very briefly, please, David.
Okay, well, thank you very much. David Allo from TEXFOR. I'm the head of sustainability of TEXFOR.
Hello, everyone. I'm Silvia Grau from Grau S.A. Grau is a dyeing and finishing textile company with more than 150 years of experience. So I hope we can share nice thoughts today.
Hello, everyone. Pepe Costa here. I'm CEO of company Gustavellini, which we are responsible for RETEXCYCLE, which is a software company, software solution for the traceability of textiles. And okay, thank you for having me.
Okay, so we have here three profiles. Each of one represents a specific profile. Here, David represents the working forums, the working groups at European level, and not only at European level, but someone that is near what is being discussed about the future of the DPP. Then Silvia represents an SME industry, and then Pepe represents someone that, among several things, has technology for traceability. Is that so? So, okay. So, at the end, we'll open the conversation to the audience. So I have here some questions, and I hope this will become a conversation, not just question, answer. So feel free to add your comments, whatever. So the first question, David Allo, and it's important that we at the beginning define the ground of what is DPP. Right? So what is DPP and why it is important at this moment?
Is for me the question?
Yeah, exactly.
This is the question. I mean, digital product passport can be a dream or can be a nightmare. Nowadays, everybody is speaking about that. Nowadays, there is people who is using like something like a digital product passport. Later, probably Pepe will introduce what he's doing. At European level, nowadays is in a discussion. Nobody knows. There are some few words that are there, like traceability, like durability. European Union wanted to empower the end consumer. Want to give power to the end consumer in order to give real information. Real information means methodologies, means traceability, means digital product passport. So it is expected, like at a minimum, there will be the traceability should be recorded somehow in a digital format. That's why digital product passport. And we are going to see which kind of attributes or which kind of environmental and social aspect are going to introduce inside of them. Everybody's really nervous about that. Due diligence aspects are over the table for the big brands that are, or for the people who is operating like outside. All the requirements regarding reach and so on are over there. For the SMEs, always is really, really difficult and complicated to try to fix every change, some changes that are gonna happen. But as I was saying before, could be a dream. I mean, the digital product passport is a open door, like will give information about the supply chain. Our SMEs, most part, well, are always B2B business. So with the digital product passport, probably we can find somehow B2C, and somebody is gonna see to us. So I think that is a great opportunity, and we are gonna see what is happening in the end, in the real definition.
Okay, thank you very much, David. Now, Pepe Costa, is the DPP the right solution for the right problem? What is your experience?
Well, I would say yes, and depends, right? So, how far we want to reach, which is the scope. I mean, what we do want to achieve. And basically, I think that in Europe, we want to achieve sustainability. As David and you, everyone knows, it's a very large word. I mean, it involves a lot of concepts. And, you know, going to where I can add some value, you know, I think sustainability with a proper traceability means nothing, absolutely nothing. It's you know, you can fake so many things. So the traceability is a key ingredient. At the end of the day, we are talking of passport. It's to track the entries and the exits of the country. So it means it has this traceability embedded in the word, I would say. So replying your question, yes, it is. I think it's important to have this tool in Europe, and how far we will achieve, let's see. I mean, it depends 100% on regulations. I think the industry is, you know, he is willing to get it, but, you know, at the end of the day, without the strong regulation in place, I think it will be difficult. So, as David mentioned, everything is on the table, everything is on discussion. People is very scared because, you know, when you talk about the fibers, and my experience, you know, tracing, for example, the Spanish cotton, where it's planted from the seed bags up to the garment, you know, it's a lot of lack of communication between every step of the value chain. So, you know, the seed guys, they don't care about the ginners. Well, they care a little bit, but they want to sell the seeds. The ginners, they don't care about the yarn. The yarn guys or the fabric guys, they say, you know, I sell my cotton bales. Who cares? You know, okay, I just make a product nice, blah, 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 and move on. So, and so on, right? So, yeah, I think it's needed. It's something that we might need. And my expectation, if Europe wants to lead the sustainability industry or textile industry, you have to have a strong regulation. Everyone's have the same playing field, everyone playing in the same arena with the certain rules and clear directions. And then this yes or yes needs real traceability. This is my opinion. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Silvia, taking from Pepe Costa, as a textile company, you are feeling the pressure for being more to be more transparent, and you are a link in the supply chain. So what is the pressure that you receive from partners and customers to become more transparent, and how are you dealing with that? What is your experience?
Well, I would say that
Where does it hurt?
No, in our case, I would say the pressure comes more through audits and certifications. So, like, every year we are going through a lot of different audits, some directly from big brands, other from specific certifications of the sector. But at the end, what we see is that each certification asks for different things. So it's not, there's not a clear guideline or almostification. It's not clear which is the path and where we have to go. So I think this is a pressure because maybe with a tool of the DPP we can set a standard, like place a specific criteria that we all have to follow, where we can improve, that it's comparable with others, and that we can evaluate. So in this sense, I think this tool could help a lot. And then, in another hand, we see that every time more clients are asking for the carbon footprint or the analysis of life cycle. And I think here it's also that we need to find a balance between being very transparent, that we think that we have to go that way, but we also need to keep our know-how internally. So I think that it's another point.
Okay. So at this moment you have customers that want to know how much water was consumed, how much energy, CO2, and so on. You have the capacity to provide that information in real time, not so real time, near real time?
We have some information, but I think we can even go further, and I really believe that we have to go in this direction, and not only for external like clients or customers that ask for that, but also because internally we need to have that information and know how much water are we using for each process, for which article, the same thing for chemicals or for energy. So I think we really need to go further and further, have sensors in each machine, in each process, and be able to evaluate, to become more sustainable, to make the right decisions, and then we can share that externally, and I also think that that will be very good for us, because we are spending a lot in being more sustainable, and maybe we are not selling or communicating it the right way. So I think it will help us, because we will be more efficient, we will be able to make good decisions, reduce costs, and blah blah. But also, I think it's an added value that we can make profit of it externally also.
Okay, thank you very much. Coming back to David Allo, is there any tension between brands and the industry? Because there are two different things. You know, we used to talk about the textile industry, but on one side I see the brands, on the other side the industry, and those are two different worlds. Is there any tension between those two worlds over the DPP? What do you know now about this tension? What they say? Complaints, concerns?
DPP should be the next. Somehow, as I was telling before, European Union is saying empowering the consumers through the consumer agenda. There is too, like the European textile strategy that was coming like last year. There is saying again, like it's really important to define what is sustainability, to define the traceability, the digital product passport, the co-design, what is the co-design, and so on. So all this information somehow is going to be in the digital product passport. As you were saying before, between the brands and the manufacturers, not too many years ago, it was completely, it not was close. I mean, Pepe was saying before, like the people was doing some kind of order and doesn't care about from where was coming, with which kind of social or environmental attributes. Silvia was saying that nowadays they have a lot of audit pressures. 7 years ago, there isn't any audit. The audit comes like from 7 years ago. Some of this information, all the legislation is trying to fix, like through this digital product passport, to give real information. Probably this month will come like the Green Claims initiative that is gonna, that everybody is listening a lot, this question that is greenwashing, you know. So this month it is gonna be some norm that should define how it is gonna be, like when you want to say that something is green or sustainable or whatever, you should go through the digital product passport that is gonna connect like the all the supply chain information with the brands. So I think that is a really nice opportunity for our like associates, which are like manufacturers, that is gonna open information. It is gonna give some homogeneous, like to the which kind of information you need in each step, and it is, I hope that will be like the best tool in order to capitalize the sustainability. Nowadays, we have a huge problem in the manufacturer part that our manufacturers are working in a really good environmental and social performance, accused of the European law. I mean, we are going straight to the decarbonization. We are paying energy really, really expensive. The water, again, we are paying the water like 3 times, and there is not any river with pollution from the textile industry. This means cost. And I can give like hundreds of different cases of this kind of cost. But later, when you are going to the market and you have a really beautiful environmental performance and social performance too, because you are paying really good the employers, later the market doesn't care. The market is like, if you pass my audit, it is okay, but they are not asking about all the things. Maybe the digital product passport could be this tool that helps in order to capitalize all the social and good social and environmental performance. I hope so. This is the dream that I was saying the first time.
Okay. Moving on to Pepe. Pepe, with so many traceability solutions on the market at this moment, I suppose none of those solutions are complete solutions. They are missing parts, probably. What is missing now, and what is going to happen? Are we going to have one solution to rule them all, or a couple of solutions? What is going to happen? And is this frightening the SMEs at this moment? What do you feel?
Well, I really don't know what's going to happen, because this is like the Betamax and the VHS. You know, that video? Well, the people my age, they know what I'm talking about. The younger generations maybe don't. But basically, which will be the standard, I don't know. There is so many bodies. There is, EOS, there is GOTS, whatever, there's so many, recycle, non-recycle, and so on. So should be, I think, some kind of integration. But at the end of the day, again, I return to my point that Europe, because we are ruled in Europe, has to set kind of level playing field for this certification unit, saying this is wrong, this is right, this is what you have to achieve to sell these products in Europe. And turning back to the point, we always try to be a company to be very sustainable, but the sustainability is starting with the people in the value chain. So because there's been so much abuse, because when you buy fibers, when you buy raw material, it can come from anywhere. You can then in the industry blend it, so you don't know whether this material has been sustainably procured or ethically procured. So basically, I think the digital passport, product passport, needs to solve this issue. So at this point, replying your question, it will be unification or not, I really don't know. I think there are different technologies that are good for some issues or some kind of materials, fabrics, whatever. Some others, let's see the market evolve and see which is the best. Of course, because I'm coming from the textile 37 years ago, not 150, but myself 37, maybe 38 right now. I know one issue is key is the price, right? Because we are all squeezed. When I was promoting my solution, at the end of the day, it's super nice. What is the price? What it will cost me? And then you say, okay, you want to have it, and this is, if you want to be sure, you have to make a lot of steps along the, you have to make a lot of assurance of the systems, of the traceability, the physical tracer, the digital tracer, and it costs something. We are really in the low price possible, but at the end of the day, replying to your question, I think that price is an issue, and unification, maybe the guy who goes or has more volume can have this biggest share, but I really don't know. I really don't know. My opinion, it will be some technologies complementary, working complementary. But again, we need Europe at least, because I am not in US, but Europe at least say, listen, all the organisms certifying, they have a common rules or common ground, or everyone knows this is doing great, or this is making some transaction certificates that we cannot assure they are proven or they are fake and so on. This is coming back to the physical traceability that we are working in. Okay.
Okay. If you want to comment, please go ahead. This one is for Silvia Grau. Trying to look into the future, how do you think industrial companies must prepare themselves to answer these requirements of the DPP? And in terms of requirements, I always look at the data requirement. You need a lot of data to have a digital product passport, and that data comes from every step of the supply chain. So how do you see how companies can prepare themselves to be prepared for the DPP? And I will invite you to give some advice to the SMEs based on your experience on this.
Okay. Well, I think that what I would say as an advice is that all SMEs should invest in digitalization, sensorization, and having all these integrated, because we need to have this data, we need to have this information, and if we have all it and it's very accurate, for instance, in my case, as we were saying, we for our processes, we are intensive in water, in chemicals, in energy, so we really need to know very accurate all this information to be able to improve, to reduce these consumptions, and I think this applies for any SME. The first step would be to invest in this digitalization and sensorization, having all this data, and then being able to share it and to make decisions, as I was saying. So regardless of the DPP or any other external demand, my advice is to really focus on this, because we will help in all other areas of the company, improving, in gaining competitiveness and all this. So for me, this is the most important advice I can share.
I want to add something. Thank you. Well, I wanted to say that there are like different levels of digitalization nowadays in Europe. There are many things like are as challenger for the sector, but that our manufacturers were going up like from many years ago. So, for example, the traceability. Everybody inside of their facility, they have really a strong control of the traceability with a order that fixes all the production, that guarantees the use of the chemicals, and so on. So there are many things that the European manufacturers are doing really, really good. But it is true that all this 4.0 transition, it is necessary for all the sectors. So for the textile sector, again, will be necessary too. And the people is going really fast too. Like, again, like 7 years ago, I was visiting many facilities around Europe, and at the point that Silvia was saying, not many facilities were taking care about how many water per process, how many energy, and so on. Nowadays, the people is jumping over this challenger, and there are many movement around, and the people is going really, really fast at this topic.
Yeah, that's a good topic, because, okay, digitalization, you can digitalize your processes, and then you can have solutions that can provide you in the cheap way, perhaps, that information and that data. But the other topic is the digital integration that you need to have among the supply chain. So the data you collect, you must pass it to the next one, and then to the next one. And there you have a problem of the same language, because data interoperability, data standards, we expect data in a specific format, in a specific quantity, on a specific time, so the data can progress through the supply chain, and so at the end you know the overall footprint of a product. What is happening in that level of integration?
I think that integration will come like step by step. You know, the European Union it is not gonna say, oh, tomorrow you need to fix all these things. No, should be something like an evolution. So first of all, traceability will come through the digital product passport, but the carbon accountability by process, like by step, like in the supply chain, it's not gonna come because there is not people that are able to do that. We should remember that unfortunately, the most part, well, unfortunately or not, but the life is like that, the most part of the textile products comes outside. You know, how to guarantee this kind of data from outsider producers? Nobody knows.
From outside Europe.
Exactly. Because, I mean, here you can open the door like, okay, I'm the police, I'm going to check like your sensor is okay and that the accountability of the carbon, it is perfect by all the system that you have, and I'm going to do some kind of audit or whatever. Okay, but outside, how is European Union how will be European Union to be able to ensure that in Bangladesh or in another third country, they are doing the accountability of the carbon in a good way? Well, the accountability of the carbon could do for another discussion. I mean, nowadays there is not a standard for the sector that say the accountability of the carbon should be like that. So the message that I want to send is like the things are going like running and so on, but not for tomorrow. It's gonna be like a huge change that maybe somebody could be away. You know, and that the position of our manufacturers is the world leader position, like the manufacturers from Italy, from Portugal, and from Spain that are the most important in Europe, because the rest of Europe don't have many manufacturers like spinners, weavers, dyeing and finishings and so on. We are the best ones doing like these kind of things nowadays.
Okay, thank you very much. Before I pass to the audience, any more comment from our side? Can I? Okay, please, go ahead. Questions? I have one here, another one there. We have two, at least, for this moment.
Okay, I'm asking from the consumer point of view here. You all mentioned that there is a big lack of definition about the digital product passport. So why do you think that is like this? I mean, is big players are pressuring the European Commission not to define the standards, or maybe it's because companies need high investing here and they are not very capable of achieving that kind of investing to sensorize the factories and so on, or it's maybe because it's so difficult, so nobody really knows what to include in the digital product passport. Any thought? I would be very interested. I
have the microphone, sorry. It will be some process. You know, the consumer agenda will say it is necessary to report this kind of information. The first information that will come probably will be the traceability, and the rest of the information, it will be aggregate as the European Commission could agree some kind of coherent and robust information, you know. I think that for 2030, that is the year that the European textile strategy is saying, okay, for 2030, all the things that are gonna be sold in Europe are gonna be sustainable things. For this time, I think that as a consumers, we are going to find information regarding traceability, regarding durability, regarding maybe some kind of information about carbon, but not too many, because probably we are not able to ensure the thing that I was saying before, but some information is going to come like for the 2030 with this topic that I was saying to you, like traceability, durability, composition, recycled content, all these things that is nowadays speaked on the eco-design norm. It is going to be inside of the digital product passport information, and the consumer don't buy anything till 2030 and later you will have like some kind of this information. Probably some brands are gonna run in this way to be like the first in the market and so on, but I think that will be something like that. I don't know, Pepe, if you want to agree something.
No, just to say that, you know, there are, again, I'm going back to the regulations for Europe, and there are two regulations which the European Commission already put in place, which is the due diligence laws that, you know, make responsible to the companies of all their supply chain, direct and indirect, and this is like turbocharging, you know, when it's a penalty, when it's a risk, then you're gonna go fast, you know, solving these issues. So I think that this is gonna come, it's gonna go fast as soon as these laws are implemented. I can tell you about Germany, and the law in Germany is a super long word, I don't know exactly, but and in France also it's already in place. In these two countries is already, you know, the brand selling more than, I think, 50 million euro. This law applies to them, so it's like, whoa, we have to comply with this. And also there is the regulation on green claims that also in France is already running. It's very strict. So if you say something that is green, whatever, you have to prove it. And to prove it, real deal traceability, not only TCs, you know, PDF documents that can be forged. We need something physical, which is the physical traceability, combined with digital and so on. So I don't know if I reply your question a little bit, but yeah, I think it's coming faster because, you know, everyone has to, if they want to sell in Europe, it applies for everyone. It's a huge thing to overcome.
Yes, just one question. Is related to the, well, from the point of view of consumer and also society, all these measures will have a cost. So at the end, the product you are going to buy is going to be more expensive. So what do you think about the reaction of the people? Is they are going to complain because we are seeing now that also with the organic cotton and recycled cotton, it's more expensive than the other one. So and people is buying the cheapest, not the recycled cotton. So maybe here happens something similar, or what do you think about this?
I can reply a little bit on the cotton. I can tell you that if you want organic, by definition, the productivity by hectare, it's lower. You cannot use, pesticides. You cannot use many things. So, the outcome per hectare is lower. So, if you want the real organic, yeah, you have to pay more. That's it. It's basically, if not, the farmer would say, okay, I will skip the cotton, I will plant any other crop that yields me more. So, it's like it is. If you want, sustainable food, you have to pay more because, yeah, it means it's more expensive. Maybe you have to consume less. I don't know. But this is the point. And talking about solutions it's going to cost a little bit more. I mean, it's not that super high cost. Our solution, at least, is not. We are asking so few money. So talking of cents per kilo, which is, come on, I mean, it's nothing. It's not a big deal. So you can have full traceability from seed to garment with our solution for cents for a kilo. So come on, we are not talking of euro per garment. We're talking of cents. So yeah. It's a little bit more expensive, but I think applies for you the same because you have to put nice chemicals, you have to treat the water. It's chemicals that you have to put in place. I don't know.
Yeah, I completely agree. So yeah, I think here it's important that people really become conscious of that and educate, and from the brands also really really educate the consumer that this is important, and maybe we have to pay a little bit to have something that is more durable, that can be recycled, that can that have been produced with less chemicals or whatever. But I think at the end, it will help a lot if we really trust that if in one product it says that it's sustainable, that it is. Because I think now, with all the greenwashing thing, I think a lot of people do not believe that something it's really sustainable. So maybe with all this traceability, and when we have standardization, and we can really prove that something is really better and more sustainable, maybe then the consumer will be will spend more money to buy it.
Well, just for say something different, I think that will be cheaper. Yes, because what is cost? I mean, when you are talking about cost, what is the measure? Are euros? If they are euros, probably will be more. See, it seems nobody knows how is gonna see like the price of the energy in 10 years. Nobody was expecting that the energy cost it will be the cost that we are taking now. And inside of the cost, we are not taking account many costs regarding ecosystem services. The cost of the clean water, the cost of the clean air, all these kind of costs seems that are gonna be internally in the monetary cost. In the past, all the social, environmental, and economical things were completely going in different ways. Nowadays, the investors has ESG criteria, like environmental, social, and governance criteria. So nowadays, the money, the social, and the economical things, not always, but it seems that are gonna be in the same yarn. There are many examples, as for example the Dow Jones Sustainability Index, that are one of the main index that are saying what is sustainable or what is not by sector. If your company is inside of this kind of rankings, your company has more value, so more economical value. But this economical value has inside social value and environmental value. So maybe just to say something different, I completely agree, and I don't have any magical ball that probably the cost will be like more expensive, like in monetary topics. But I hope like it will be cheaper if we are giving inside like all these social and environmental topics, and probably the competitiveness of our manufacturers is with this line of logic will be better, or I hope so.
Okay, do we have time for just one more question over there? We ran out of time, more or less.
Thank you for the roundtable. My question is for Mr. Costa. You talk many times about your long experience in the textile industry. And I wanted to receive some feedback from you about the nature of digital revolution, because we think we are living a revolution, but I guess it's not the first time you are living a technological revolution. And I wanted to know if, according to you, this is a real disruptive revolution for textile industry, and if yes, how different is this one from previous one?
Wow. Well, previous ones. I lived the year 2000, end of the world, economy. You too. The overcoming of the web that is going to kill everything and so on. So, I think that as soon as the technology evolves, so we are doing kind of very big steps, and this is allowing new business models and new things that were like not logical or not intended in the past. So, I mean, as soon as you are following the market and being in the market, you see things that are logical, right? The things that are okay, this makes sense. You know, like David Ayotel, you know, 7 years ago, I was selling fabrics, I was producing garments for third parties, brands, which my company was doing, and we don't, I mean, we care, but we didn't care that much. You know, I've been in China, in India, and Bangladesh, I'm talking like 20 years ago. What I have seen, it's, you know, you can say this is crazy, yeah, but I've seen it. And that time it was normal. Who cares? But now you say, okay, this is not logic. This doesn't make sense. We have to, you know, improve it. And this is why I went into this traceability, because, you know, someone introduced me, and then I went in and I said, this makes a lot of sense. So I'm using technologies. You know, our software is kind of blockchain inspired. We are not the blockchain as people understand, but yeah, we are making, you know, connecting the database with hash and so on. So it's something I didn't thought, like, I would say 5 years ago, I didn't thought about it. And okay, now you have the technology, then you go, and as you, I mean, I love the textile industry. I've been, you know, 38 years doing this, and I say, okay, maybe we have to do things better. We have to improve things. If I can prove the real traceability from the seed bags where they are planted till the full garment, I can show this to the brands, to the industry, I know they will like it. And if the brands want to share this with the final customers, here we are. You have the, you know, the API you can show. We are not going to show. The brands will show if they have this interest. And you'll have the full transparency. So yeah, embrace the technology and use it to grow and to be, but I mean, to grow, to reach new highs on better servicing your customers. This is what I think. I don't know if you have any other, but it is my opinion. Okay.
So I think we ran out of time. So we reached the end of this roundtable. And please join me in a big applause for our members of the roundtable.